When I go to Europe, I love to see the castles. They have all kinds of great castles in England and Ireland and Scotland. And what's common about them? They all have a moat around them. They all have a drawbridge, and they had all kinds of security that was looking at everybody coming back and forth over that drawbridge. And I thought, why can't we have the same kind of security on the factory floor? So that's what I'd like to talk about today. My name is John Rinaldi, and I am not a cybersecurity guru, not by any stretch of the imagination. I don't talk about TLS. I don't talk about security algorithms. What I talk about is very simple solutions that common control people like you and I can implement that actually work. When I think about these castles, it brings me back to the days of when I was really young and I wanted to get into clubs to meet hot girls. And, I was often, the bouncer didn't want me in. I was just a short, dumpy, fat white guy. And I'm thinking, that's exactly like what they did with the castles. The security guard was essentially the moat and drawbridge guy. And he was looking at everybody coming through that one single entrance. And he looked at me and said, we don't need you in here. So, but this security really works. It really worked well for the castles. It really worked well for the guy at the front door of the club trying to keep me out. It's called deny by default. You don't let anything in that you don't normally let in. So deny by default means we're going to reject everything except for the people, or in this case, messages on the factory floor that we want to get into that system. So we know, for example, that the quality system always reads these 3 tags from the PLC. We know that the maintenance system always reads the cycle count from some valve. We know that some other system always reads the speed of the drive. So we let those messages through. Anything else we reject. And more importantly, deny by default, which is the name for this means that if one of these systems then tries to do something differently, if the system that reads a cycle count from that valve block starts to try to do something else, it wants to read some other data, if it wants to send a message to the PLC to write a tag in the PLC, that gets rejected. If the system that normally reads 3 tags in the PLC wants to write tags in the PLC or reads some other tags, that gets rejected. We deny, by default, we deny every message except those that we want to have come through the system. Very simple. This couldn't be simpler as a way to protect your manufacturing system from all kinds of malware, all the way down to just one of the accounting guys who are thinking, hey, I know a little about PLCs. I'd like to scan the network and see what's out there. So you can protect yourself from anybody not doing anything that you don't want them to do. So this is called deny by default, and it works for castles. It worked to keep me out of clubs, and it'll work for your manufacturing system to protect your production floor. How do you do this? There's a device called the ICS Defender, and I really believe that this is a very simple solution for protecting your manufacturing floor. Now, it has a couple of advantages. This can replace your VPN device. It has NAT, replace your NAT device. It has all sorts of IT features. It's a really great device and the concept couldn't be simpler. Just deny everything except the messages that you say can access the factory floor. Want to know more about this? Get on my email list. I send out an email about every 10 days with some really cool information about cybersecurity, these kinds of simple solutions, or go to the web page. It's listed below for the ICS Defender and look more into it. You can always call up, and I'd be glad to talk to you and about your cybersecurity problems at your factory. Thanks very much. I'll see you in the next video.